All right, so power pack right here. Let's just open it up. We've done a bunch of these, but it was in that bag, so we're gonna do it. We got some plastic, coarse copper. We got a little power cord end right there. We'll throw in our wire. We may do a video on refining wire later. All right, we got a hunk of aluminum. Half my life is looking for the tool I just set down somewhere. Looks like we got a little Moffett on there to take off. Get that guy out. So we're down to our actual just aluminum. Guys, I imagine your yard or whoever you deal with is going to require you to cut that off. We deal a lot with AMG, but there's other places in town such as Quigley's. We just do a volume where it's better to deal with the largest guys we have the option to do because we are pretty big, and some yards don't want to deal with us because we don't deal with just cars, so that was another problem we had. Like Vans does tons and tons of vehicles, however, they don't like the fluff that we bring because we're not bringing cars, we're bringing in boatloads of appliances. So you'll find your niche, you'll find the guys you work the best with. Sometimes it's personality, sometimes it's volume. But, you know, once you build a rapport with them, you'll know who to trust and you'll go from there. I mean, it's a great industry to be in. I find it fun. Not always doing micro scrapping, which is what this is called when you're doing the smaller things. So macro scrapping would be driving the washing machine to the yard. Micro scrapping would be taking the wire out, taking the timer out, breaking the contacts out, getting the brass out. I mean, you can go all the way down to the tiniest bit of metals, which like doing this right here would be. Now, we could indeed open up a capacitor. Maybe we'll just show you what's in here. This is a really low grade board, so it's great to just really destroy so you can see all the little parts. And sometimes we'll do things over and over again because you'll find that most of the same things are in everything. You're always going to have resistors and capacitors and connection wires and so on, and you'll see them in different flavors. So let's get my angle grinder here. Just kind of open up this capacitor. Here's something to think about with capacitors too. Baby capacitors like this won't hurt you. They're microfarads, micro meaning small. When you get into a higher UF, they can make you lay down, and some of them will make you lie down forever. So, you know, you got to be careful with it, especially when you have old tube TVs, and that's what this came out of. We'll show you later. But as we take this off, you'll see it is non-magnetic because it's aluminum, vegetable oil, and paper. I don't know if you can really see those individual rings in there, but it's just wrapped over and over. And in fact, if you look at the top of it, if you see these slash marks, that's for an explosion. That's if this goes bad, it'll funnel it out that way, it creates a weak point so you don't have any issues. Now, this is neither wire nor board anymore, so we're just going to throw it in our trash pile. We'll open up this relay and see what we can find. Nope, maybe that isn't a relay. I didn't read it, I just hit it. It may be that that's a capacitor too. Yep, that is not a relay, that is a capacitor. Which is what I said earlier about different flavors of things. You know, just because it looks like a bird may mean it's a bird, but it doesn't mean it's a duck. So there's nothing in there. And then here, we're going to remember our transformers. You'll have step up and step down transformers. Most of the time, you're bringing mains current down from like 120 to 24, 12, something like that. Like your furnace ACs are 24 volts. One of the fans we took apart from one of the computer towers, however, went to 48 volt DC. So we're going to nick this and see if we actually have copper for funsies. And that's kind of cool to look at it peel like that. So with each one of those rolls, we're just going to be able to take it off. And it's actually stiffer than one would think. But and did you get any real money? No. But the big machines can't get this. That's why the scrapyards love it when you do this. And why this is good for the environment, because these will end up burnt off in something like a steel plant or in the slag, or I might have used the wrong word there, but you know, anything this small is not coming out of an eddy current separator on a main line. Also, one other thing to note is you will see that we have a couple different sizes of wire in there for each individual coil to make it do whatever it's supposed to be doing. Up, down, left, right. But, you know, and if you want to do this, it doesn't take much. You can see I may have a lot of tools on this table, but that's just because I like my different tools. And all of this, at the end of the day, I got to be the only guy using one of these for metal, but let's set this on it, tear it out, and see if we even got an ounce. Not even half an ounce of copper right there. So at $4 a pound, you really did get nothing. But it's cute, it's cool, it's fun. The end.